Hello again, everyone. It's me, MadameMacabre, and today I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself from green gorilla attacks. Okay, so I should probably give you guys some context, because I know in itself it sounds really silly. It is a silly phrase, but completely unironically, this is probably one of the most powerful tools my therapist ever gave me to deal with oncoming anxiety attacks. And I think if you guys haven't heard of this and you struggle with anxiety yourself, this might be a useful tool for you too. And let's be honest, 2020 has been rough mentally on everybody. If you didn't have some form of anxiety, I wouldn't be surprised if people started forming it anew. And if you already had it, like those of us who've been long since clinically diagnosed, well, it's just been a walk in the park. It's been super dandy and things have gotten a lot worse. I think that is a blanket statement for, just about everybody right now. There's a lot going on, and it's hard not to be anxious when, we don't really know how things are going to be certain for sure with the changing landscape and the economy and all that good stuff. But that being said, this tool has helped me immensely in coping with the new stress of this wonderful climate we're now living in. Okay, I've beat around the bush enough on that. Basically, the green gorilla is sort of a metaphor, a reminder when you are being irrationally anxious. It sounds funny, it's a funny word, and that's for a purpose. Because it sounds silly, it's something that we can remember, and it makes it easier to recall in times when we're stressing out. And it also kind of tells a little story. The gist of it is, you are so worried about the green gorilla lurking outside your window. He's gonna come in and attack you and destroy your room. You're terrified of this green gorilla attacking. Okay, well, let's slow down for a second. We're at like 9 out of 10, we're panicking. The green gorilla is gonna come in here, it's gonna throw things around, it's gonna destroy everything. Oh my god, the green gorilla is gonna get me. Wait, look out the window. Do you see a green gorilla? No? What about gorilla footprints? Green gorilla footprints? No? Are there tufts of green gorilla hair maybe stuck in the windowsill? No? Okay, so why do you think the green gorilla is lurking outside the window ready to attack? What evidence can you point to saying that he's there and he's gonna get you? None? Okay, so you are tying yourself in knots, losing sleep, hyperventilating over the thought of being attacked by this green gorilla, but there's no evidence to say that he's even there, if there's a green gorilla that even exists. And mind you, that's a silly way to word what can be serious issues for people, but the story kind of serves its purpose. You shouldn't be tying yourself in knots over what ifs and whataboutisms, because you're going to be living in constant anxiety and fear. Basically, the green gorilla is a tool that we can use when we are starting to be irrational and we are shutting ourselves down, getting so freaked out, and it's actually impacting our life over something that is very, very unlikely to actually be happening. Now, mind you, it may be a more real threat than a literal green gorilla, but you might be freaking out in the wrong place and time. You are preemptively getting yourself spooked when there's not even signs of danger yet. You can't constantly live in that state. And how the green gorilla sort of works is start working on identifying when you are panicking for no reason. Like, for instance, let's say your friend hasn't opened a message you sent them, or they did open a message and it says seen, and they haven't responded, and you're starting to panic thinking, oh my god, they hate me, they don't want to be my friend anymore, what did I do wrong? And you start spiraling and going down that dark path of thoughts. You are giving in to your fears of the green gorilla. Your friends not liking you anymore and not wanting to be near you is the green gorilla that's not lurking outside your window. Take a moment, slow down, look at the actual facts. Have your friends done anything else to actually tell you they don't want to be around you anymore? Have they done anything to make you, other than you're just perceiving it, has there been any actual evidence to show that your friends don't want to be your friends anymore? Or more likely, are they just busy? Maybe they were in the middle of doing something else when the message popped up, so it went underseen, but they couldn't answer at the time, and then they forgot to answer it. I know I've done that a ton of times. You could be absolutely tearing yourself apart over what is essentially a big old green gorilla threat that's not really existent. So slow yourself down, and when you find yourself freaking out, oh my god, they hate me, that's a time to remember, this is a green gorilla. Just to yourself. You don't gotta say it out loud, you can just think it to yourself, whatever helps. Just think, this is a green gorilla. I am freaking myself out over a green gorilla. There's no green gorilla in the room. And just use that as kind of a grounding tool. When you find yourself like getting really high strung, you can ground yourself with this little tool. It's worked for me plenty of times. I don't know, it's something about the goofiness of the name makes it easier to remember, but it's something that you can sort of get in the practice of when you find yourself irrationally stressing over something. You can look at all the things in front of you, because sometimes things are worth worrying about, and they are actually not great, and they're not a green gorilla, but that's why it's helpful to be able to sit down and evaluate what's going on. What are the facts? What's in front of me? That way you can know when your energy should actually be expended versus when you're just constantly 9 out of 10 wasting all this worry and stress over things that you really shouldn't be. I can give an example of one time that using this has genuinely helped me. And that is back in the before times when there were these little things called conventions where people used to be able to gather together, dress up in costumes, and go socialize in person. Has it really been this long? Oh my god. I digress. So, a couple years back when conventions were still happening, I had freshly been really, really hurt by somebody who I knew was a part of the convention scene in that area. And honestly, I did not want to see him again. He made me uncomfortable, he made me scared. I didn't want to think about having to deal with interacting with him. It was awful, and it was almost enough to make me decide to not go to a convention that I love, that is full of people that I love. I've got more people at that convention than he does, yet I was gonna let the fear of him being there in me just not wanting to interact with him because the what ifs. What if he tries this? What if he tries talking to me? What if he tries getting his friends to corner me or something? Like, all these crazy what ifs just because I didn't want to see this person at a convention was going to be enough to keep me from going to this convention that I love, full of people that I love and who love me and would keep me safe regardless. But anxiety's weird, that with all these good things to focus on, people that I love, people I know would protect me and I know who would have my back, yet all my brain wants to focus on is, but what if, and it just gets more and more escalated. What if I am literally attacked with a weapon? Like, whoa, where did that even come from? Like, you're getting so anxious about this one bad egg that you are letting it control your mind at this point and literally make you consider not doing something you want to do and you love just out of fear. And this was sort of something I was talking to my therapist about at the time, back when I was still in therapy. Basically, that's when she told me about the green gorilla. She's like, okay, not at all to discredit the fears that you're feeling right now, but here's a tool that might help you. And she explained the concept of the green gorilla to me. And I was able to use that to slow down and go, wait a second. I am about to not go to an event I love and not see people that I only get to see once or twice a year simply because of fears of what might happen. Because to be honest, I don't even know if he's even going to go to this event. Because he knows all my friends don't like him and he's not welcome there. But I'm tearing myself apart, afraid of encountering this guy. I am freaking out over a green gorilla. So, I ended up at the end of the day deciding to overcome that anxiety, and I went to the event. Now, mind you, it wasn't easy to do. I was terrified. I was still in the bed. The non-logical part of my brain was still telling me all these horrible things that were going to happen. But I overcame. I put it in its place. This is a green gorilla, because the evidence was not there to prove otherwise. It's not like anybody told me, hey, this person's going to be here and they've got bad plans, or I've heard that. No one was telling me anything to support this person even being there. So I had no reason to let that destroy this convention that I really wanted to go to. So it took a lot. I was really scared, but when I got there, it was like the Band-Aid was ripped, because the entire time leading up, I was just an anxious mess. And even though I knew, mind you, I was a lot more anxious before I was able to use the green gorilla tool to bring myself into check. I'd start getting freaked out and I'd go, this is an irrational fear. You have no proof of this. Calm it back down. So it really helped me manage it. Mind you, it's not going to fix it, but it's definitely going to help you manage to the point where you don't have to let it rule your life. Well, basically how the story goes, how it turned out, is that I indeed had been terrorizing myself for nothing. This person didn't even go to the convention. I heard through the grapevine that they decided they didn't like the convention anymore and didn't plan on going in the future. So they're not going to that convention anymore. Just period. They don't want to do the convention anymore. So the entire month leading up to the convention, I was tying myself in knots over the green gorilla. Because at the end of the day, that's all it was. An imaginary green gorilla that was lurking outside my window despite no evidence or even logic telling me that it should be there. So basically, the moral of this story is, if you struggle with anxiety and you struggle keeping that in check, the green gorilla might be a tool that can help you regain some control of your life and calm yourself down when you're getting to like a 9 out of 10 in anxiety before you completely spiral and hit the edge and go over. Just draw yourself back, tell yourself to look at the evidence at hand. Are you freaking out over a green gorilla? I don't know. I genuinely hope that is helpful for you. I figured I would share it because it was a tool my therapist gave me that was incredibly helpful to me. I use it, honestly, regularly. Even though, I've completed therapy and moved on from that and everything, I still, on a regular basis, use this tool because it's genuinely helpful if you struggle with any kind of anxiety. Because we can get in our own heads and tell ourselves, oh my god, this is going to happen, even though there's no evidence to prove that it will. In fact, there's probably some evidence saying that it won't be that way, but we're still going to cling to it because of our anxious brains. So I hope this tool is useful for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's not like a spooky thing or a story time. It's just the other day I found myself advising somebody else on the green gorilla. And I was like, hey, wait, I've never shared this with my YouTube audience before, and it might be able to help even more people? I don't know. I hope it's helpful to you guys, but that's all I've got time for today. I will see you guys all next time, and until then, remember, stay creepy.